everybody once again. Today will be Man I Love Frogs versus Hooked on Quack. So Hooked on Quack being Space Duck's team, with both Pring brothers, Frank and Incendiary Storm, who I am still unfamiliar with. And Man I Love Frogs, this being Bohan's team, with Sean, with Natty. Just looking at the points, both teams very similar on points. Alright, looks like we will be having the draft soon underway. Just waiting on the spectator link for that. Another day, another game. There we go. I just got... Okay, they're the same link. Okay, we're already mostly through the bands. We're seeing Yasuo, Yone, and Yumi banned out by Hooked on Quack. Smolder, Viego, and Thresh banned out by... the name of this team again. Man I Love Frogs. That it does spell out MILF. Instant pick of Seraphine here by Hooked on Quack. I don't recall Frank particularly being a Seraphine player, but this could be... I'm not sure if this is Frank or Space Duck. We're seeing a Ziggs, most likely a bot lane Ziggs, I think. I think this will either be a support or a jungler pick here. Taking their time with it. It is a Lux, so a Ziggs Lux bot lane, very high poke lane. Not the best thing to pick into a Seraphine, but Seraphine doesn't have as much sustain in lane as some other enchanters. So, and a Senna picked up for Hooked on Quack. If this is Seraphine Senna bot lane, this is going to be a very interesting lane. I think this is a little bit of a blue favored bot lane. Just because you have two poke lanes into each other. It's going to be very volatile, but there's definitely more sustain here from the Seraphine and the Senna than from the Lux and the Ziggs. Looks like a Twisted Fate mid pick for Space Duck here. So this is actually going to be I'm pretty sure this is a Frank Senna with a Lucas Seraphine. So red has the chance to counterpick the mid if they so choose. And they're just going to fake me out and pick Zeri here. That, in fact, is a Ziggs mid, which I would actually say is probably a good pick into the Twisted Fate. Doesn't quite have the same kind of global presence, but does have a global presence, and definitely has a better lane phase. Safer and stronger poke. And a Mumu ban coming out from Hooked on Quack, and a Lily ban coming out from Mills. Definitely targeting each other's junglers here. A Gnar ban, that is most certainly targeting Klaus. Klaus is Gnar is very much a comfort pick, and definitely a very strong pick. And we see the Ornn ban coming out in retaliation, keeping probably one of the strongest top lane tanks just out of the game. A Jarvan pickup for the jungler on Milf's side. With this team, I definitely think that will make for very strong team fights. Lock people in place for Zigult, lock people in place for Luxult, lock people in keep people close together for Zeriult. Definitely very strong here. I quite like the Jarvan pickup. Kayn, quite strong here. He has the ability to get out of that Jarvan Ragnarok, but at the same time, actually, I kind of like this pick. Although I feel like this will probably end up being a blue Kayn. This makes for a very squishy blue side. But we do see the Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench providing safety for this very squishy team. I definitely expect that ultimate to be used defensively. And a Teemo in response for top. So this is, I believe, yeah, this is Klaus's Tahm Kench, which is a very strong Tahm Kench. Into, instead of a Teemo, it's a Volibear. Which, if you saw my game last night, you'll see that Volibear is a very strong pick into Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench definitely has a hard time laning into the Volibear, who just has so much damage and sustain. Which, while Tahm Kench has strong damage and sustain himself, Volibear definitely feels a bit more front-loaded. But that is the draft. In terms of team fights, I definitely like Red Side's team fight. This is going to be a difficult game for Blue with this comp, I think. Especially if this Jarvan builds more beefy, maybe even tanky. It could be really hard to displace him in a fight. And he'll just get knockups and use his ult and be very annoying. Provide his Q debuff and E buffs, both of which are going to make this Zeri very much a threat. While this blue team seems like it's going to take a while to come online. I mean, both teams actually seem like they'll take a bit to come online, but with the Ziggs being mid, I actually now want to revise Actually, yeah, no, I think it's very much a blue favored bot lane right now, though. So blue's likely to get ahead in the bot lane, I think. Unless this Jarvan can get some good ganks off. Definitely having more strength early in the jungle. But the lanes are going to be a bit difficult. And we're just waiting here for spectator delay while we keep analyzing this draft. Oh! Oh no! I didn't have the draft up this entire time. Oh, that's embarrassing. Let me go ahead and just show this draft off here for everyone to see so that it is in posterity in the record. I am so sorry, folks. This is what you get when you ask me to stream a game at 4 p.m. I have no co-caster, no one to keep me honest. Sorry to those of you watching for the scuff on the draft. But you have a bit more time to look at this draft. I do have to say I have a hard time analyzing Zeri in terms of the strength of this bot lane for red side. There are definitely strengths and weaknesses to each team here. Definitely going to see have to see how this game goes. I do hope to see that blue side plays a bit safer here, except with a strong bot lane. While red, I think you're going to have a very strong topside presence. Honestly, I want to see red get 6 grubs. That's what I'd like to see this game. But we will have to see what these teams will in fact do. As we switch over to the game. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. So as I expected, Lucas on the Seraphine, Klaus on the Tahm Kench, Frank on the Senna. Well, it was Klaus on the Tahm Kench wasn't a question, but it is in fact Frank on the Senna with Lucas on the Seraphine. Definitely a strong bot lane. And definitely going to be a competition of the poke lanes, but there is definitely more of an enchanter lean that's going to help against that poke. And as we've said, top lane is going to be difficult for Tahm Kench. Jungle is probably going to be difficult for this Kayn. Jarvan being an absolute monster early on. And mid, I think mid favors the Ziggs a bit. Uh-oh. That's not good. Okay, good. We can still try to attempt to reconnect. Having slight technical issues here. And we are in game. Looks like we're going to have 5 points from both teams. No invasions, no shenanigans. Although neither team quite doing a proper 5-point. Seeing a bit too many people on the bottom side. Not enough people on the top side. Some funny banter happening in chat. Volibear leaving behind a friendly ward. Guarding against the potential Kane on the friendly Raptors. But it does look like not only is Kane going to be starting at red, both junglers starting bottom with... Oh, Seraphine in some trouble here, getting positioned and poked. A little return poke, but still chunked out for half. That's going to be difficult in this lane. In the battle of the poke lanes, having a health disadvantage so early on, it's going to be difficult to deal with. Very volatile lane here. Klaus playing nice and safe. And we do have vision on these Raptors. They know Kane is there. So it's going to be interesting to see what this Jarvan does. Oh, they do get a catch out onto the Ziggs, but the Ziggs flashes out. And will be able to theoretically stay in lane. Just toss bombs. Honestly, it's... Oh, he gets hit by the Q. The Fraying flashes in. There's the heal. And it looks for a moment there like Frank might become collateral, but instead, he makes it out scot-free. With a very early kill onto the Ziggs. I did say I thought this was a slightly blue-favored bot lane. They do need to clear out this wave, though. They're going to miss a lot of EXP if they back right now. If I was the Seraphine, I would be blowing all of my mana to get this wave out. So it is a Zeri mid lane from Defective Yasuo. Interesting choice. Currently working out for him. He went back to buy a cull with his current CS lead. Meanwhile, things are actually looking quite even for top lane, although definitely a health deficit on this Tom Kench. He's going to get bullied. There is a ward to spot out this Jarvan. They see him there. They know he's looking. Kanye decided to just back out and get his items reset. This Jarvan, on the other hand, he should have reset, but he's staying out too long. He is going straight for this grub, though. I like... Scuttle. I like this play. But I do think he's staying out a little too long. Meanwhile, though, Kane just washing his camps. Rinse, repeat. This Jarvan, however, looking for a gank. There is the root onto the Senna. The Senna's gets knocked up and is going to go down. There's just too much damage, too much CC. Nothing that they can do. Kanye tries to look, sticks around, but there's not really anything for him here. And he's going to want to just get back, go to his camp. Wait, is that me, or did Harry farm the Raptors there? He's going to look for some revenge. Gets the slow. Hits a Q. Gets some souls. Gets a Reaper proc. A Dark Harvest proc there. Which, interestingly enough, this is a Dark Harvest game. Not too much happening with the gold yet. Still pretty even. Slight advantage to this red side, though, with that Zeri definitely out farming. And once again, this Zeri just uses her, I believe that's her W. Let's see here. Yeah, that's W. Oh, was that a... Oh, no, he gets the kill. He gets the kill on the TF under his own tower. This this Kayn is not in the position he wants to be. He has to cover this mid lane, leaving up his top side while Dragon's up. We see Jarvan. Jarvan's moving up to his top side jungle. And we also see Volibear going for this plant, getting some sustain, and they're probably going to start Krugs here. Yeah, Jarvan starts it, and Volibear joins in. Tahm Kench is going to go back in a neutral lane state, which is probably going to start pushing his way once this Volibear comes back into lane. He does have TP, just in case this Volibear hard shoves. He's probably going to need to use it anyway. I think this lane is going to hit his tower. He does not use it, though. He's going to accept the 5 creep loss. In bot lane, we do see some damage already being taken in terms of poke, but not too much. Both carries are looking quite healthy. Mostly just damage on the supports. More health trades going on. And Kayn's going to look towards this bottom side while Jarvan's clearing his top. Ooh, very nice poke from the Seraphine. With them that low, they're not going to really be able to do anything about this blue side dragon. And although red side, this TF is behind, he still should... Oh, he's actually losing prio here. It's pretty painful to watch. This Zeri looking incredibly strong. They do get the dragon, though, with no contest. The Zeri just staying in lane, bullying this poor TF. Defective Yasuo proving himself to be a very potent lane bully in this tournament. Oh, and there is a gank going on to this Ziggs. He flashes out. Jarvan is coming up from behind. He gets a knockup onto the Seraphine. Seraphine ults him back, though, and the bot lane is not reacting well to this gank. Zeri's coming up, though, and there might just be a free kill there. Yes, the ult goes off. Blue side under tower. The Seraphine, the Senna ult goes off. TF is there, but only just in time to help with his Kayn's escape, securing the back route, while the blue side bot lane just completely goes down. Seraphine going to TP back to lane. Ziggs as well. And this Zeri is looking really strong right now. 2-0. 30 CS up. It's going to be a hard game for this blue side if they can't find some way to eke out an advantage. Or just find some way to survive like this Tahm Kench has been doing. This Tahm Kench has very much been just surviving in this top lane. which is a testament to Klaus Peng, his matchup knowledge, and his skill as a top laner. There is no CS deficit in this lane. Well, there's a slight CS deficit, but not a big one. Definitely less than the one in mid lane right now. Though they do have an advantage in bot lane. Despite that, how that gank went off, despite how their tower dive went, they do still have an advantage over the Ziggs in the Seraphine. Which, when it comes time for the team fights, I do think the Seraphine is going to be a more useful champion for this blue side team. Especially with how well Klaus is hanging on in this game, that Seraphine percent HP healing is going to keep that Tahm Kench up for a very long time. Though, as predicted, it very is likely going to be a blue form Kayn. Can we see how close he is to form? I would really like to know. We can't see. That is a shame. We see some poking going on. Red side losing the poke war as expected. Oh, but we do see an ult going up this way, saving the TF, it looks like, from this area. Red side going for these grubs again. Like I said, definitely going to get those 6 grubs. We actually don't get to see how many grubs they're on right now. That's sad. But they did in fact get all 3 of the previous grubs. They're going to get all 3 of these grubs. So that's going to be 6 grubs for this team with the Zeri, especially a mid Zeri who's already just in a perfect position to start pushing down this middle tower. Those 6 grubs are going to be huge. The moment effective Yasuo decides to open up the map for his team, he can do so and start causing some major havoc. Although it would be a cautionary tale not to take towers too early. Blue side definitely is a team that wants to scale, and taking towers early could give them the space to do so. Pings happening up top lane. Looks like they're just looking at this Volibear taking... Oh, okay. Anyway. Next objective to come up is the dragon. Going to be Mountain Drake. And Kanye's already here in position. So is TF. The bot lane is looking very strong. They could go for this. Although, they are not starting it, and Zeri is back in lane. And I don't know how well this TF is going to be able to keep prio again while Zeri's still here. Kanye has started the dragon. And red side is looking at him. He's going to go over the wall. The dragon's going to start looking at attacking this Jarvan. Looks like red side's now going to start it, though they're a little tentative. The position here is not great, and bot lane isn't very involved. The smite is going to get the Drake to the red side. And up next is going to be Hextech. Now we have Hex Gates on the map. And a potent dragon that's really going to be dangerous in the hands of the Zeri if they manage to get it. Zeri looking to go onto this Kayn, ults for it, flashes. Does he have anything left? He does not. And Kanye's going to escape, manage to get back to his camps, farm up, do that Kayn thing. I'm actually a little disappointed. I'm not seeing as much of a CS gap as I would like to see out of a Kayn against a Jarvan. Jarvan's not a particularly fast jungler, while Kayn is definitely one of the faster ones. One of the few benefits you have as a Kayn is being very fast on clear. And as we said, but we have the ult stacked up onto the Senna, but the Senna with the heal, with the Seraphine W, with the ult. But it's just not enough as that Jarvan comes in. But as we were saying, this area is going to take down that mid tower real fast with those 6 grubs. Kayn meets Volibear in the jungle, gets eaten, and now Klaus is in the unfortunate position. Oh, he eats him up. He's going to force him under tower. That's a lot of damage. This Tahm Kench might just be able to get the kill back. He does! With the flash and the auto. Manages to get Volibear down. That's huge. Zeri taking the blue side red buff. And Eing on out. We see both supports coming back into lane. Things might start happening again down there. There is a W onto the Ziggs. The Ziggs managed to get some space with his own W, so not much more is going to come from it. Return Q onto the Senna, chunks for a lot of damage. But Seraphine manages to chunk out the Lux in kind. 1 level advantage on this bot lane for blue side. Definitely going to be a difficult match. Although, we do have 4 people down here. It is currently Rift Herald as the objective. It's going to be another 2 minutes until this dragon is up. And Zeri's just continuing to push on down. She gets W'd by the Kayn. The Kayn's looking, but there's not a lot he can do in this situation. And TF is just a little slow to come in. Lux ult missing the Seraphine. And we see that Kayn is very near transformation. Not a good thing to hear at 17 minutes into the game. You would have liked to have heard that 5 minutes ago. Maybe even 7. Or more. You definitely want to hear that as soon as possible. Maybe they fixed the Airy bug. So maybe that's why he didn't go Airy and instead went for Dark Transformation. Regardless, this is a blue Kayn. Which is a little... I mean, it makes sense. You definitely want to catch out some of these squishier targets on red side. But at the same time, there's no way this Tahm Kench is going to be able to handle the full brunt of the red side offensive. And you look at that, Volibear still taking very convincing trades off of this Tahm Kench. And bot lane just goes down to a 4-man gank. Kayn's looking around, but there's not a lot he can do. They have Herald, and they actually save the Herald from crashing into the tier 1. They're going to have it crash into the tier 2. Kayn's looking. Kayn's on the hunt. He gets the flash. He gets the W and the Q, and both of them are down. Both bot laners assassinated by this blue form Kayn. But that's tier 2 tower gone, and it looks like they're going for a third, but the blue reinforcements are back. And this Zeri may be carrying this game, but she can't handle all of this alone. Meanwhile, Volibear is just taking this top in the face of impunity, while Kayn is taking some of these camps. The Kanye looking for a position, gets knocked up by the escaping Jarvan. There might be there's a bit of a thing with this Zeri, but Zeri's looking to turn this around, looking for the Senna. The Senna flashes away. The damage and shutdown to Seraphine. Definitely an overextension on red side's part. And it seems like a bit of a miscalculation, bit of a misplay on this on defective Yasuo's part. Amazing lane bully, but he definitely was a bit too cocky to think that he could just go back in that situation. Although it's not entirely unwarranted, he was getting off some good moments in there, but all it took was one bad one. One mistake. And to show why every team fight is a 50-50. Volibear in this jungle. Getting steered back a little by this Kayn. Managing to protect that pink ward. TF having a hard time all game. There is a look onto him, but this TF having a hard time all game, trying to keep the push up against the Zeri. Now having a hard time trying to keep the push up against the Ziggs. Which, by the way, this Zeri 90 CS up. Feels like the entire blue side has to play around the presence of this Zeri, giving a lot of space to the rest of the team. But now that Zeri's backed off the map, the rest of the team does have to be a little bit more careful. Pressure is still decent, though, for this red side. I'm not sure what's going on. Why Klaus would try to W in on the Volibear. He's going to start taking a ton of damage. He has to flash. He gets the stun off. He's back under his tower. Volibear's not quite giving up, though. He is going to start turning around now, though. He's going to ghost as the blue team chases and realizes that they're just not going to catch him. That is ghost down on the Volibear. Kayn is looking. But not going to make anything of it yet. The Zeri was looking for the red buff. The red buff is not there. The Raptors just came up, so Kane's going to be able to snag his Raptors, and Senna's going to snag a couple of souls off the camp. It looks like there could be a bit of a scuffle here, but bated breath. Jarvan throws his flag over the wall. That is going to go to the red. That red buff goes to the red side. Jarvan looks like he's going to go back to his own camps for just a moment here, which does mean that there's a bit less pressure on this blue team for now, especially as the Zeri goes back to base. Blue side is going to be able to recover a bit more. That is Volibear coming into this red side jungle, or blue side jungle. Kayn having to ult. Still in a very dangerous situation here, but he is able to slow down the Volibear and rush over that wall. There are eyes towards this Baron. But for now, they're looking at the split off Volibear. He ults over the wall, expecting a chance to get out, but he is caught and brought down by this blue side team. Definitely with a Spectre's Cowl, Navori, Flickerblade, and Rod of Ages, this is a strong Volibear, but he is not tanky enough to manage going into 4 people. And again, we return to a neutral state. Baron is still up. Next would be eyes onto this dragon. There is a good amount of deep vision into this blue side jungle from red. They do see that the Kanye's there. Kanye's going to walk over that ward. He hasn't killed it yet. Oh, it goes away. Oh, and he's looking for the Ziggs. Ziggs W's away, but it's not going to be enough because of the ult from the Kayn, but the tower does the job. Jarvan was there to clean up if needed, but tower was enough. It's too long under that tower. A bit too cocky from this Kayn. As Red gets their second dragon. Both teams on 2 dragons now. And now, ping's going out from Red side. Looking towards this Baron. Ping's on the Volibear's location. Pointing out that he is around. The Volibear E is visible even from out of vision, so the Tom knows that that's happening. He doesn't manage to get the tongue steal. Lux in a slightly dangerous position. This could become a big jump from... There's the Tahm Kench, there's the... And all that damage. Blue side definitely having very strong damage potential for picks here with this blue form Kayn. And Volibear getting caught out in this jungle again. He's getting good damage on the Kayn. Kayn goes back in though. He gets swallowed. Tom looking like he's in trouble. He needs to eat. He goes down swinging, and there's just not enough of a blue side follow-up. TF already being dead. Meanwhile, Zeri earning an absolutely massive gold per minute. Zeri being a full 5,000 gold ahead of the next highest person. No, 4,000. 4,000 gold to the next highest person. Which, the next highest person is also their top laner. Things are looking grim and dire for this blue side team, although they have gotten some good situations. Some good moments going. Simply the strength of this team and the carry power of defective Yasuo proving to be a terrifying advantage. Already another 350 gold bounty on this area. Volibear once again journeying around in enemy jungles, this time with hardly any vision. Looks like he's going to start pushing out this bottom wave. There's no other presence of the team on the map. Zeri is simply farming her own jungle, while the rest of the team is starting to do something in mid, but isn't really devoting themselves to it. But Volibear backs off from the bottom lane and just farms their red raptors. This is going to be Kayn's only chance to get these wolves, as the rest of the red team is taking his Gromp. Volibear's pushing in bot lane again, forcing a reaction. There's no one on this team that can handle that Volibear. He manages to back off, and this is looking like it could be a 5v4 onto this red side team. They catch out the Zeri. The kill goes to Tahm Kench. They look for the Ziggs, but the Ziggs... Oh! Tongue onto the Ziggs. Heartsteel proc. Some autos from the Senna, and that is Ziggs down. That's 2 kills for this blue side team. But, in the meantime... they're losing their base towers. They get a 3rd kill, but at what cost? They've lost an inhib. They have no defense on this Nexus. And in the meantime, what remains of the red team is positioning for this dragon coming up in just 40 seconds. Kane's also in the area, looking around. I believe he manages to snag... He does. He manages to snag that scuttle. And he's sitting around. He gets scouted out. He needs an E to get out, or a Q. He does get out. But there are 4 champions on this red side right now who could just start taking this dragon. They have a lot of damage here to take it, too. I don't think they realized that there just wasn't that much... And Volibear TPing in bottom. Giving red the space to take this dragon as Volibear gets caught out, and he's very likely to just fall over here. He ults to get that extra life. Big healings from these W's, but it's not going to be enough. But the red team from behind, the Zeri pumping damage into these squishies. She gets stunned, however, and rooted. They manage to escape, but escape where? Their nexus is open. And that's going to be game. Wow. At least that game did have a decent bit of a back and forth. There were some very strong moments from blue team. But ultimately, red team had the advantage the whole game and carried it through. Really only a minor advantage in bot lane that they weren't able to quite capitalize on, especially not with that Kane pick. I think that might have been a bit of an outdraft, which I did like red's draft from the beginning. But very good game from both teams here. That was a much better showing than I would have expected. But in the end, the red team won, and ultimately in a rather dominating fashion. And that's going to be it. Thank you to everyone who came to watch. And we will see you again in the next one. Peace out.